All right, we are at Independence High School, and we are going to do a little talk about some Independence football with head coach John H. Lilly, and this is sponsored by Kaminsky Chiropractic. Coach, you've kind of got a pretty good tradition of winning going up here right now, and just kind of talk about those last few years. I mean, we've got 4 straight years in the semifinals, and people are probably expecting you to be there again.
Well, I think I think it makes things fun when you know you have a chance, and I feel like if we can stay healthy and we can get to the playoffs,
right,
whether it be 10-0 or 5-5,
right,
if we get to the playoffs, I think we got a shot, and I think that makes practice better. I think it makes your off season better.
Right.
I would rather have high expectations than no expectations because
right,
I've been on both ends of that.
Right.
I think when you have no expectations, it's really hard to get motivated every day. To come up and play and practice and everything. But yeah, we're really just trying to. I haven't really had a chance or an opportunity to kind of step back and look at it in those terms. I'm just so busy working for. We've had so many changes, Russ. Just daggone, so many changes when. With the portal and all the classification stuff and COVID. I mean, it's just like if you're a coach, you've just been crushed for 3 years. You can't even think about it.
Exactly,
so I think there'll come a time where I do think about it. But no, I'm real proud of what the kids have accomplished.
Looking at your team and what you have coming back, I mean, really outside of something bizarre, it's really hard to imagine you not making the playoffs. But then you look at your schedule and you kind of understand where you're coming from because you guys have really got a tough ride to get into playoffs.
Yeah, I mean we got to learn to play a schedule like that, and fortunately, I've played schedules like that, so hopefully my experience and can help us navigate that a little bit. When you got to play Cabell Midland on a Monday and then turn around and play Spring Valley and GW and Parkersburg and that kind of stuff.
Right.
You get used to it. This is something that's going to have to be a transition for our community and our people because, we have every bit as much talent as we had on the 22 state championship team. If you want to go man for man, we're every bit as talented, if not bigger. And but the schedule's different.
Right.
So, people are not going to see those 42 to 14 games. They're going to see 21-20 games.
Right.
It's exciting, but people are going to say, well, what's wrong? And what's wrong is the guys on the other sideline are pretty dang good.
Pretty good. That's right.
So yeah, it's going to be a tough navigation for us. But I kind of want to look at it the opposite way. I think it'll be exciting. I mean, like we don't know anything about them, but they don't know anything about us either.
Right.
So it makes it fair in that regard. But no, it's going to be a tough road, but it's going to be a fun road.
Right. Let's just start up front. That's always the place I like to start because if the guys up front can't get the job done, it really doesn't matter how good your skill players are, really. So let's talk about those guys up front, who you have coming back, and who's going to be keys for you.
Well, we got a lot of guys back on the line, but they're all still pretty young. I mean, we started 2 freshmen and a sophomore last year, and then we played another 2 freshmen. So. We're lucky Alex is back off an injury, so that gives us a senior on the front, but he's really the only senior we have.
Right.
So, we've got 6 or 7 guys rotating in there, and most of them are all sophomores. So we'll rally around Alex. Alex was first team All-State his sophomore year before he got hurt, and he'll lead the pack for us. He's a workaholic.
Right.
He's going in the Marine Corps. He's already signed up for it. He knows what he wants to do with the rest of his life, and then we got Levi Phelan. At center, who's our only junior. Now the rest of them are all sophomores. We got Charles Akert, we got Carson Jones, Jaden Shuck, Alden Fitzpatrick. We got some other boys in there that we're rotating in there as well that we feel, if we can get them healthy, we feel like can contribute. And then, we got a kid that transferred over to us that's really helped us out a lot, and Isaac Redden.
Okay.
So we feel real solid there. We're not where I want to be with that yet. In the run game, we're just not where I want to be with it.
Right.
I think in the passing game, they do a pretty good job. But, it's still going to be a work in progress.
And talking about the passing game, I mean, it's, coming off a freshman season like Brock Green, I mean, you kind of think, can he do it again? But I kind of feel like he can do it again.
Well, we kind of turned him loose in the scrimmages. I don't know if we'll do that much in the games.
Yeah.
You know, in the scrimmages, I think he threw for over 250 in both scrimmages in 2 quarters. So, you know, what helps is he's got some dudes on the outside pretty good.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
We got 3 seniors that started last year back, and Christian and Bradbury and Laxton. So, you know, and then he's got some guys that he's used to throwing to in the middle school, you know, with KJ and Connor James and Paxton. So, and then he's got David Steele and Grimmett. So, you know, we feel really good about it. But, yeah, I think the sky's the limit for him. He's prototypical drop-back quarterback.
Right.
You know, he's
Heck of a
got
build,
so many
too.
schools looking at him. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to navigate that, too.
Right.
So, you know, but I think he's really got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
He's really focused in on the season. We'll worry about college when
Right.
the season's over.
He mentioned that to me earlier in the year. You know, he wasn't concerned about the college thing. He wanted this year to be the best it could be. So.
Yeah, I mean, quarterback position in college is just, gosh, dog. It's a dog.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
You know, and you know, we'll navigate that when the season's over with.
Yeah.
I'm real pleased with him. He stays focused in.
Right.
He's growing a little bit each week in the leadership role, which I wanted him to do.
Right.
But I think as he gets older, you know, things will be better for that.
You've got a pretty good tradition of tailbacks around here. I mean, you know, you've had a few do some big things, and you got a possibility of another one can do some big things in Silas Nelson.
Yeah, he's our 5th one. You know, people forget about Nico my first year here, but you know, Nico was a stud. He was, you know, if he would have played with this offensive line or 22 offensive line, he'd probably done the same thing.
Right.
Nico Burgess, but yeah, we've had Atticus, then Judah, and then Tyler, and then we've had Silas the last 2 years. So yeah, God's blessed us. I mean, that's just where it is. It's nothing I'm doing. It's just that, you know, you go through a string where you're blessed with great talent.
Right.
But even what makes it even better is they're good kids.
Right.
And we don't have a lot of prima donna around here.
Right.
You've been around the kids.
Yep.
You know, they're goofy. You know, I don't know if they ever take anything serious.
Right.
But
they get pretty serious when they get across them lines, though, Coach.
I'm real pleased. They know when to flip the switch. But
Right.
They're pretty good kids off the field. They're good, fun to be around.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been around teams where it's not fun to be around. But
Right.
for the last 6 years, God's just really blessed me. I think He put me in a place where I fit in, and you know, I'm blessed that the community accepts what we do. And
You're right.
good administration. So,
Right.
you know, it's a good thing right now.
Right. I did get to watch, you know, the first half of the trail exhibition game. And man, it's hard not to be impressed with that defense you've got. I mean, those kids really were flying after the ball, and those 2 rush-ins you got are scary.
Yeah, they should be. You know, the 2 first-team All-Staters. You know,
Right.
and you got first-team All-State in the middle with Blankenship. So,
Yeah.
you know, I hope we cause people trouble.
Right.
You know, we can only be as good on the front end as we are on the back end.
Right.
You know, because we know what's going to happen. You know, like this weekend, you know, we're going to get a steady dose of screens and steady doses of good passing game because they got a great passing game. So there lies the challenge. But you know, yes, they are pretty good. Both of them, you know, they're both pretty equal on either side.
Exactly. I saw them flip-flopping. They did as much damage on both sides.
Yeah, and Riddle is so smart. You know, he
Yeah.
can drop when we want to drop.
Right.
You know, we're still working on that with you know, Conley on the drop, but you know, he'll catch on, and that gives you a lot of flexibility in what you can do.
All right. Independence head coach John H. Lilly.